Welcome back to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. Well, you probably have seen the bombshell news about former special counsel Jack Smith. That's right, he is now reported to have spied on at least a dozen Republican senators, and this is a huge blockbuster revelation. But it gets even worse because it turns out that Republican senators weren't the only Americans that his special counsel investigation was spying on. But before we get into this story, please like, share, and comment at Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Well, former special counsel Jack Smith was allegedly tracking the private communications and phone calls of nearly a dozen Republican senators as part of his investigation into the January 6, 2021 Capitol riots. Now, a document reveals that Smith and his Arctic Frost team were investigating January 6 defendants and were allegedly tracking the phone calls of GOP senators such as Lindsey Graham, Marsha Blackburn, Ron Johnson, Josh Hawley, Cynthia Lummis, Bill Hagerty, Dan Sullivan, Tommy Tuberville, and Republican Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania.
Senator Hagerty.
Thank you, Senator Johnson. And Chairman Grassley, thank you for your leadership in making this happen. This is an extraordinary revelation that just took place this afternoon. My colleagues and I found out, all of us Republicans, by the way, that we were placed under investigation by this FBI, under the Joe Biden FBI that was led, I presume, by Jack Smith and his predecessors. This isn't the first time that it's happened, though. Senator Johnson just mentioned this. I served on the Trump transition team in Trump Tower in 2016. Senator Blackburn was vice chair of the transition committee then, as were probably a dozen or more members of Congress. To think that we were surveilled by the Obama FBI. This corruption runs deep, and it's gone on for far too long. And the fact that it's happened here again, the fact that they are looking at our records in 2023, sitting members of the United States Senate. Again, the only thing that we have in common, the only thing in common in this entire list is that we're all Republicans. They've decided to come after us. This is as partisan as it gets. The FBI and the corruption that's running there has to be cleared out. Thank God we have Kash Patel and Dan Bongino there. This has to be addressed. It has to be resolved. It needs to happen today.
So, the document recently discovered by FBI Director Kash Patel is titled Cast Assistance. It is dated September 27th, 2023. CAST refers to the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey Team. The document, which has the names of FBI agents involved redacted, marks the case ID as Arctic Frost, Election Law Matters, Sensitive Investigative Matter, CAST. Well, Arctic Frost was opened inside the Bureau on April 13th, 2022, and Smith was appointed special counsel to take over the probe in November 2022. And about that, Jack Smith was a private citizen this entire time. He was not Senate confirmed. We saw that in the Trump Mar-a-Lago case, where Judge Eileen Cannon pointed out that he was not properly appointed as a special counsel. Jack Smith is involved now with major election interference cases. These cases are either thrown out or put on an indefinite hold, and he is all but dead to rights, caught in a massive scandal. And we're all wondering here, when is there going to be real accountability for these bad actors who have weaponized our law enforcement and espionage apparatus? They need to be held accountable, or bad actors are going to continue to abuse our government and violate the rights of American citizens. This is just beyond the pale. They've crossed the Rubicon too many times, and we are tired of Republicans going on Fox News and chit-chatting about this, because it is not a matter for rhetoric. It seems like the Democratic Party has figured out a long time that they are not afraid of strong words. They're not afraid of their letters or their committee hearings or public testimony or any of these other things that Republicans seem to do anytime there is a massive scandal. So we are going on years since the Obama administration of our law enforcement being weaponized, whether it was talking about the IRS targeting scandal of conservative groups under the Obama administration. Under the Biden administration, we saw mass censorship, and Biden was directly implicated in this. His regime reached out to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and coordinated them to censor Americans. We have seen enough of this, and there needs to be real repercussions. Weigh in with your thoughts on this, and thank you for watching Explain America.